What's going on, everybody? 8-Bit Mike here. Welcome back to the channel. Alright, so let's jump straight into it. Perfect Dark Reboot canceled. So not good, people. That is not good. Okay. Please like and subscribe. See if we can get this video out to a bigger audience so that maybe Microsoft or Xbox can see this, or somebody from Xbox can see this. And just like and subscribe. Perfect Dark Reboot canceled, and Xbox developer The Initiative closed as part of devastating Microsoft layoffs. What the hell, Xbox? Like, I woke up this morning and, I saw the news that Xbox was doing layoffs, this and that, and they were canceling a couple titles. And I was like, cool, this happens all the time. But I was like, there's no way that they're going to cancel that one game in the back of my mind that I've been waiting on for at least 2 to 3 years at this point. I was like, there's no way. The Initiative is a first-party developer studio. It's Microsoft's premier studio. There's no way they would cancel that, right? There's no way. Wrong. The Initiative and Perfect Dark has been canceled. And like, I'm literally like, what the freak, Microsoft? Or I don't even know who to blame. Is it Microsoft's fault? Is it Xbox's fault? I don't know whose fault it is, but this is horrible. Like, I don't know how many people out there love this IP as much as me, but I was one of the original OG fans of Perfect Dark when it came out in the 2000s. Like, it's an understatement to say that this game, it really did change who I was. Like, this game was so dear to me. And, Perfect Dark Zero came out on the 360. And, the game was okay. And it was made by a different team and whatnot. But it came out okay. Not as good as the original. But when I heard that they were going to make a reboot and it was going to come out on, the Xbox Series X, or, whether they were going to have it come out on a new console or not. Either way, I was super stoked to find out that they were going to make this game. And I've been waiting for it for at least 2 to 3 years once they announced it. And I'm devastated. Like, it's not just, this is going overboard. I used to go over to my cousin's house on the weekends, and, we would stay up all night playing Mario Kart and GoldenEye. And then, but that was until, of course, Perfect Dark came out. Like, it was always, Perfect Dark was the main event of the night. And, this is so disappointing. Like, I'm really disappointed, and whoever's responsible for this, because, like, this is ridiculous. I mean, that's like canceling Halo. Like, this, I can't believe it. I'm at a loss for words. I mean, seriously. And, I could speculate all day about, whatever the reasons are behind it. And there is some stuff that I've heard about, everything at Xbox just going woke, which is just ridiculous. And, like, look, if you're going to be woke, that's fine, but don't ruin our video games. Like, don't ruin intellectual property like Halo or Perfect Dark. Like, this is how Joanna Dark originally looked, and I like that. Let me see. This is probably the original, close to the original art when it first came out on 64. Let me see. I remember having the strategy guide, and she was on the cover of the strategy guide, and that's how she looked. And when she came out on 360, this was the new look, and that's cool. She looks good. I like that. Sometimes they do gotta change, but this is kind of a anime type look to her, and I like it. It looks good. But, like, what is this, bro? Like, that does not look like her. Like, she looks like some. What's the point of that? There's literally no point. It's just really upsetting, man. This is really upsetting. All right, but look, how Joanna Dark looks is besides the point, okay? The real issue here is, why did they have to cancel it? Well, from what I've heard, there's been a lot of turmoil. There was a lot of turmoil within the development team between developers, and from what I've heard, it's about creative differences. I mean, it just ties into this. I'm willing to bet half of the team thought that, she looked like some freaking, and that's not originally how she looked. Like, it probably had a lot to do with this woke bullshit. And look, I don't care what kind of political issues is going on behind the scenes over there at Xbox, but I just want someone or some entity to take over the IP, or whether Microsoft or Xbox is going to create a new team to resume the development of this game, because that's what the world and the fans need. That's what we want. Is we don't want y'all to just throw away 3 years worth of development content. I mean, who knows how much content they've had at this point. But I mean, obviously they made a certain level of content, and even potentially some actual gameplay. I don't know how far they got into it, but Xbox, Microsoft, if we can get this video out to you, if somebody from them can watch this, we just want y'all to pick up where y'all left off, whether it's with the new team, whether you're going to sell the intellectual property to somebody else outside of Microsoft. I don't know. I just want somebody to pick up the pieces that were left from all this destruction and resume God's work. Like, put it back together, make this game possible. Like, us fans, we want this game. And I can help y'all out as far as the direction. I mean, obviously, y'all don't have to listen to me, but if y'all need direction, who else better to get it from than a diehard fan that knows all the ins and outs of the original games? I can help you out, because it's very possible that the people on the development team, they may be able to know how to make games. They probably don't know squat about the actual original game. So let me help you out with that, okay? Because I have a lot of insight into what us fans really wanted in this game, what we were expecting and what we were hoping this game was going to have. I will literally tell you everything. And if there's something I miss, if there's some other diehard fans watching this video, put it in the comments so that maybe, hopefully, somebody from Microsoft or Xbox will see this and they will pick up where they left off from the shambles and resume this masterpiece that it is meant to be. So I put my hat on because my hair is crazy, and I'm growing my hair out, but it is crazy, and so let's go ahead and just wear a hat for this video. All right, everybody. So first and foremost, if you're gonna make Perfect Dark great, okay, you're gonna have to have a bunch of guns, okay? And the original Perfect Dark on 64 had 41 guns, okay? And all these guns were unique. You had assault rifles, submachine guns, rocket launchers, grenade launchers, mines, all different other types of technical guns and alien type guns. And to be honest, there's so many guns that I probably won't be able to jump into it in this video. I'd probably have to just make an entirely separate video for that. But if you want to make a game great, you need to have a lot of guns. You can't just have 8 or 10 or 15 guns. That's not... No, if you want it to be a great shooter, you're going to have a lot of guns. And the sheer amount of guns that Perfect Dark had is one of the aspects that made it great. Okay, now all these guns, they all had second features. Okay, that's very, very important. All these guns had second features. The second features or functions, they were all different depending on what gun it was. Okay, this rocket launcher here, its second feature, instead of a straight shot, it had a homing shot. So you aim, fire, and forget. The far sight, the second feature, was able to look through walls. So it wasn't just a sniper rifle. You could snipe through walls. The laptop gun, it was like an assault rifle, but the second feature was a sentry gun. You throw it on a wall, it automatically shoots at targets. You know, it's basically just a sentry. All these guns had unique secondary features that made the game just really great. It wasn't just the sheer amount of weapons that it had. Every single gun had a unique secondary function that just gave a twist to that gameplay. Okay. I might have to do a separate video on that. Okay, aside the weapons is a whole category, a whole topic in itself. Okay, but it wasn't just the weapons in the game that made the game great. It was also the levels. It had a lot of levels as far as campaign and multiplayer wise. Okay, so according to this, Perfect Dark had 17 campaign levels, which is fine. And I mean, I'm sure that's you know, you don't need me to tell you that most games, campaigns, you want to have a lot of levels. The more levels, the better. It's just a better campaign experience. And then the multiplayer side, there were 15 multiplayer levels. So, I mean, again, it's just like the weapons. You had a lot of selection. You had a lot of weapons to choose from. You had a lot of multiplayer levels to choose from. I mean, you could just keep the gaming going all night long. You had all these different levels. I mean, plenty of content in the original Perfect Dark N64 version. So look, the moral of the story is this. I don't care if you want to put woke stuff in the game or not. I don't care. Me and all the rest of the fans, we just want to see the game. Okay? All that matters is that you have a bunch of guns, a bunch of second functions on those guns, a bunch of multiplayer levels, a bunch of campaign levels, and then that's all you need. You can literally put whatever you want into these levels. You can, you know, it's about corporate espionage and aliens and all that. So just go crazy with it. Make whatever kind of levels you want. Make whatever kind of story you want. Just give us that game. We want that Perfect Dark reboot. Obviously, we're gonna want good graphics. That's a given. And with the technology we have today, they can be great graphics. And, you know, some of these screenshots that we have, they look great. So, you know, just keep going with it. Make a whole separate team for the weapons. Make a separate segment of the team that's developing just the weapons, so they don't have to focus on levels or any other type of aspect. Their sole focus would just be the weapons, to make a bunch of different guns, bunch of different types of class of guns, all unique guns, all unique second functions. You know, it's gonna take some creativity and take some inspiration from some of the old guns from Perfect Dark 64. You don't have to make them exactly the same, although it would be nice to see some original guns come through. You know, some of the original ones, like the laptop gun, or, you know, maybe the Super Dragon, or you know, the Slayer, you know, the homing rocket launcher. Just, you know, go crazy with it. And, you know, you want to create some new guns, throw some new guns in there, create some new, you know, unique second functions on those guns. Like, I would put that much focus just into the guns, make sure there's a lot of them. That alone, the game will be successful. Like, there's hands down, it will be successful. And then, you know, obviously Perfect Dark 64 didn't have online multiplayer. Create a multiplayer, an online multiplayer mode. Obviously everyone's going to want that. So, you know, go crazy with it. You know, create some matchmaking. You might want to make a whole separate multiplayer team. You got a team focusing on the weapons and developing the guns. You got a separate team working on multiplayer, creating those multiplayer maps for free for all and team deathmatch and stuff like that. Whatever you want to throw in there, capture the flag or something. I don't know. And separate multiplayer team. You might need to have that separate campaign team who people just working on campaign. That's it. I mean, this is what it's gonna take. Perfect Dark is I don't know the dynamics of game development. I've never been a game developer, but you're gonna need separate teams because these different modes and aspects of the game, they're gonna be very complex. And so you're gonna need all this in the game. Play the old game. Play N64, Perfect Dark 64. See the home menu. How you were in the Carrington Institute. And you got to walk around and explore, and it had that sense of exploration. And you have to experience it for yourself. You have to play the old games. Okay. And it might be a benefit to play Perfect Dark Zero on the 360. It's an entirely different game, created by a different team. And it's pretty obvious that it's from a different team. You can just get the feel from the entire game, the interface, the menu, the story, that just the entire game you could tell is not by the same team. And that's fine. I mean, the Rare team that made Perfect Dark, they disbanded, and they broke up, and some of the original developers, if not, I don't think any of the original developers created Perfect Dark Zero. So what they had to do was they had to do exactly what I said. They had to look at the old Perfect Dark, take some aspects from it and try to create a new game. But it did seem to me like it was not really fully finished. Like it looked good at first, and it seems like they put a lot of work into it at first, but they realized the scale of it, and maybe they rushed it. I don't know, but it wasn't it didn't come to its full potential, is what I believe. If you're gonna do a full, true Perfect Dark reboot, don't look at Perfect Dark Zero. Go back to Perfect Dark 64. That's the original OG Perfect Dark, and that's where all your ideas will come from that game. So, anyways, guys, I don't want to make this an overly long video. I think I'm already going on close to 20 minutes. So I can always make another video about, I can go deeper into it, but I just wanted to create this video to let Microsoft and Xbox know that we, the fans, we want this game, and we want them to figure it out, make it happen. Okay, I understand the initiative's closed. That's fine. You can create another team, or if you want to sell it, like I said, sell the rights to Perfect Dark and let some other team take it over. But you've already created it. Take what work that y'all have, and pick up where y'all left off. And that's the best I can say. All right, guys, that's it for tonight. That's it for my rant. If you have any other ideas that I didn't touch on, place them down into the comments. Any other ideas to help as far as development, get it back into action? We want to see this game. So anyways, guys, good night. See you on the next one.